Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm glad you chose to hang out with me here again on Wisdom on Wednesday. And I'm Ray. I'm grateful for the time you've invested. I'm grateful for the opportunities that you share about your past, how some of my stories resonate with your past, and some of your presents. We appreciate the influence. We appreciate the cooperation. Um, so per usual, I spend time with the Lord for something that we can cover today. Wise people, keep in mind, pressure doesn't always burst pipes. It also reveals character. Pressure doesn't always burst pipes, but pressure has the capability of showing how much character we have. Up in Michigan here, we just experienced some bone-chilling cold weather, and if you're from Michigan, you're familiar that we normally have winter, one day extremely cold, and then it'll warm up. We'll have extreme snow for 1 or 2 days, and then the sun will come out and it'll dry up. But we had an extended period of a cold breeze that just stayed for several weeks. It was just bone-chilling cold. And what happens when the cold comes? When the cold comes, it reveals who needs a battery. Many people's batteries die, alternators went out. Some people failed to turn on the faucets in their homes when it was below zero, and their pipes froze because of the temperatures. And the water that wasn't inside the pipes allowed those pipes to freeze over, and it caused all types of damage. Some people even had some hot water tanks go out. That happened in my house. The hot water tank was making a whole lot of noise. It was actually yelling at us, letting us know that it was time. Just like any good homeowner, we waited until it was actually out before we had to find out how much coverage we had or how much we were going to actually have to spend. Because the pressure of the winter was actually putting pressure on our appliances. The pressure of the climate on the outside was actually exposing the pressure and how much the appliances could take on the inside. You see, in my home, we didn't have any problems with the pipes bursting, but we did have an issue that our hot water tank couldn't take the cold weather on the outside, and it gave up the ghost. Our hot water tank started leaking, and there was water all over the floor, but it wasn't hot. The hot water tank had corrosion on the top, and all those people who know about those things know if you got corrosion on the top and you got water on the floor, you need a new hot water tank. So I went and I cleaned up the water like every good husband should do. Made certain my wife was comfortable, and broke the good and the bad news to her that she could take a shower, but it would be icy cold. She looked at me with confidence that we would come to some type of resolve, and she came to remembrance that she had signed up for a program in which our appliances were already covered if something catastrophic happened. So some allowances were already paid forward in case something happened. And I want to put a pin on that point that it's important the life partner that you pick, because your life partner can make coverage for you in areas that you didn't even consider. Life partner went and made an advance payment for utilities, but during that utility payment, she was able to pay for insurances of the possibility of a catastrophic accident where we didn't have to come out of pocket. So we're excited that somebody came out because we were covered. See, I'm going somewhere with this story. You see, pressure doesn't always burst pipes, but pressure will also show you how much character you have, and in my instance, how much favor you have. So we called on a particular day, and somebody was scheduled to come out the very next morning. They were out within the same time frame that they said they would be there, and within 4 to 5 minutes, they knew that the hot water tank was done. And he had put a smile on his face. He told me, "Sir, Mr. Ruffin, your hot water tank is gone, but I'm excited to tell you that you're a premium customer." And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "We were under the impression that we had to pay a certain amount of money towards the purchase of a new hot water tank." And he said, "No." He says, "Because of the pressure that your pipes were under because of the extreme cold weather, the policy that you had already paid for is now going to be exercised." Layman's terms, a policy was already created for us in the event that the hot water tank went out, so we were fully covered and getting some money back. I call that coverage. You see, the pressure came, the pipes could have burst, but the hot water tank failed. But what happened was it showed the character and the resolve of a person with a plan. You see, in this life, we can't just hope for the best, but we got to plan for the possibility of things not going the appropriate way. And when you pick the right partner, sometimes your partner can think of those things that you don't consider and they cover your blind spots. You see, we still had to deal with a real environmental issue in which the hot water tank went out. And I've got a woman and a teenager in here, and that was not going to go 7 days without hot water. It just wasn't going to happen. So she understood that there were some things that are on my mind, and I didn't think of that, but she covers my blind spots. You see, the pressure was the same. The external temperature was the same. But what was different was when we were cold and the hot water wasn't available, there were cool heads prevailed because the partner that I had picked had already had a plan. I'm trying my best to help you understand that pressure, external pressure, will reveal your internal character. It will pull out those things that you forgot about. The policies that you signed up several years ago, things that you didn't know you were covered in, somebody else can cover you. That's a message. Just because you didn't actually purchase the plan doesn't mean somebody who's not covering you hasn't already purchased a plan to cover you in the event that something happens terrible. You see, something catastrophic had to allow us to get a brand new hot water tank in our house without no money coming out of our pockets. That hot water tank would not be here if something catastrophic didn't happen. There are some pressure points in your life that have to happen, my friends, in order for you to have a new mind, in order for you to have a new heart, in order for you to have a new way of forgiving. There are some things that are going to have to fall apart. There are some things that are going to break down unexpectedly. There are going to be some things that are going to make you overthink and double think. But ultimately, all things are going to work together for your good. Because we are in a season of recognizing that just because you're covered doesn't mean you won't be under some things that other people will be casualties to. You see, there will be things that will happen to you and some will fall by your left and by your right, but it won't come near you. Why? Because you have already put yourself in a position to be covered by a policy that will protect you in the event of the pressure that will actually come to annihilate you. But I'm here to help you understand today that pressure can come and it can break you down. That pressure can come to burst pipes and make a mess. But pressure doesn't have to make a mess, but pressure will expand your character. You see, when pressure comes, pressure allows you to think things through critically. When pressure comes, it allows you not to just pick the first thing to do, but you sometimes have to sit down. You have to strategize, pray, ask the Lord for wisdom so you can actually come to a conclusion, so you can have a best case scenario for your family. You see, pressure will come to help you realize how much faith you actually have. Pressure will come to help you realize how deep the love goes in your marriage. Pressure will come to help you realize that you may not be as strong of a parent as you think you are. Pressure will come to help you realize that the plans that you wrote down may not be the plans that are coordinated by God. Pressure will come to help you understand that you are nimble, that you are quick on your feet. Stop telling yourself that you don't think fast. You just haven't had the right amount of pressure to show you how fast you think. Pressure also comes to allow us to not just have character pulled out of us, but it also allows us to recognize where our coverage is. You see, pressure will come and it'll make you feel like I have nobody in this life. But pressure puts you in a position that you can only call on God. And when God lets you know that if I'm on your side, you don't need nobody else. Pressure will come to help you recognize that somebody that I've never seen their face, but when I finally see their face, I love them as much as I can possibly love anybody. One of our daughters at the church just had a baby, and her husband are so excited about all the things that God has done for them. They had no clue, waiting and anticipating this baby coming forth, but they had no clue that their hearts would melt when they first saw her face. They had no clue the love and the depths of the love and the protection that they have for this little girl just by spending a couple of minutes with her. That's how God is. God will allow you to go through some of the scariest moments in life. As soon as he gives you that inkling of everything's going to be okay, we forget about all the turmoil. We forget about all the fear. We forget about all the anxiety. All we can think about is the joy that we're experiencing today. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. You see, pressure isn't all bad. It doesn't always just burst pipes. Sometimes it reveals character. Sometimes it exposes things that will never come up unless you had a problem. Sometimes pressure comes to help you realize that you're a lot stronger than you thought you were. There are some things that you've ascertained and you've done just because you had a problem to solve. If you didn't have that problem, you would never known that God is that type of fixer. If you will never had that loneliness, you will never realize that he's a comforter for those who are lonely. If you never lost that loved one, you will never known that God is a heart fixer and a mind regulator. There are some things that in life that only can come out of you because of the pressure that's put on you. So don't run from pressure. Don't run from pain. Pressure sometimes breaks pipes, but it also reveals character. It reveals all types of fight. It reveals all type of resolve to keep on keeping on. It reveals all type of empathy, love, long suffering. You don't know how much love you have for somebody until the pressure comes when you want to walk away. You don't realize how much you really have put your all into this employment unless you really feel like nobody's on your side and you're just going to put your head down and get it done. Can you relate? Sometimes life will give you pressure just for you to find out exactly what's on the inside of you. So I'm excited. I'm glad that my hot water tank broke. I wasn't happy when it was broken, but I'm happy that it broke so that I can experience anew. I'm excited to hear about your testimony of what had to break in you for you to recognize you're new. Because it's difficult to experience new unless you can walk away from something old. I want you to recognize today and never forget this, that God loves you more than you can possibly imagine. This is Ray with Wisdom on Wednesday. Have yourself a wonderful week and a blessed day. Take care.